Already hit the button.
What
All
is
right,
happening,
and we
everybody?
are live.
Hey,
Wel-
everybody.
All right. Yeah,
Welcome
sorry for the
everybody
delay
to
of two
another week.
minutes.
Ah, sorry, Mr. Oslin.
Yeah,
Go
because I
ahead.
was actually putting on my makeup, so it took some time.
Oh,
I had to stick the beard and the mustache.
let's see who's with us tonight. Erwin,
We have
Stacks,
we have Urban, we have Stacks, we have Ultra.
USPS. Quester is in the
Yeah,
audience. Hello,
yeah.
friend.
We have booted Quester from the troop here, so we have bought Caddy back and we have booted Quester today.
Quester's gone.
We have put him on admin duty.
Yes, he's down there. Joe's in the house. Tom,
We have Tom as well, and all are there too from our end. We have Joe too.
Hello.
what's happening, Captain? No.
Awesome.
Caddy,
Right. So how is it? Yeah.
Caddy, I can't hear you. You were very far away.
Oh,
Do a mic check
is that
here.
better?
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't help. It kind of came unplugged there. There we go. Got you, Stacks. They caught me. I hope everybody's having a good holiday weekend over in the United States, and everybody just a good weekend in general.
So far, so good. I hope the same for you guys.
Yep.
Good. Good.
Busy.
Busy?
Catching up on chores.
Yeah.
I did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Don't remind me.
Ah,
That's all right. Tomorrow's a day off to recover.
yes, definitely. So, just kind of digging through some of the announcements this week of stuff going on. I mean, we have what? Fairly eventful, at least with Guardian and Arca both. We haven't heard too much from Scratch yet this week. Let's see what's up, guys. Where's
Yep.
Quester? He is doomed by a BNB. They will not let him get online.
Yeah, he actually did a lot more comedy than expected on this cafe, so we wanted to make it more serious this time. We have
Right.
booted him from the cafe episode. So put on all your serious faces today. So we will have a serious cafe tonight.
No problem. No smiling.
Yeah.
No laughing.
No
Definitely no laughing. Right.
None.
Listen, mister.
I couldn't control that.
Let's see.
Yeah, both
All
projects
right.
cool stuff going on last week. Last week. This past week.
This past week, yes.
Yep.
Yep. Staking. We've been doing Arca's staking harvest for 2 weeks now. And it
Yes.
closed yesterday at 8 p.m. Eastern. So I think it went pretty well. I think there's just a handful of wallets that it's working on for a little bit of a glitch, and he'll take care of those. Those will get remedied. So we're just waiting for the go for staking 3.
Yes. And I got a feeling that's going to be very near. No promises. I don't know, but I got a feeling it's going to be very near.
Yep. So I'm sorry. I'm just checking on certain stuff on the TG group. Okay. Back at it. I was reading a few updates regarding the actual market shift, and interestingly enough, the governments are now starting to regulate retail investors getting into crypto. I think there was this financial body in Canada which has proposed to or probably even announced it. I'm not so sure on that, but they said that retail investors are only allowed to put in 30K annually in crypto investments, altcoins especially.
Oh, wow. I need to catch up with the news.
Yeah. And I mean, funny enough for me, who are they to decide how much we have to invest our own money
I know, right?
in the first place, right? So, but on the contrary, keeping all that, the revolutionary thoughts aside, uh, think on this note: why did such a rule even come in? I mean, are there any specific uh, barricades for you to go ahead and invest in stocks? Are there any barricades to invest in fixed deposits? Are there investment, such things in blue chip funds or even your SIPs and stuff like that? Why is it that they're doing it for altcoins and crypto alone? Simple fact, as far as I can understand, uh, it's only for the big players to get in at a good entry level because they have lost that position long time back. The retail investors have flooded the market, and they have actually capitalized on very good position establishment. And I mean, take Archangel itself for example. People who have bought in at the initial stages of Archangel are still in a good amount of profit. So at that point of time, if you want any big institutions to get in, why would they get in after a 10x or a 15x increase in price? They want to get in at that initial stage itself. So what better than create fear in the market, get those retail investors to sell and bring the price down so that they can just establish their positions. That's the only thing that I can think of from my side, that this particular thing is happening, and this is happening across the world. It's just creating a lot of panic. Here in India itself, if you take for example, they have levied that 30% tax, and you also have that 1% TDS as well. And how this 30% tax works is, irrespective of whether you have actually gained profit or loss, you are supposed to pay the taxes on whatever conversion you do from crypto to fiat. Now, if you do, say, whatever you invested, say you invested 10,000 INR, the local currency, rupee over here. So you just invested that in Bitcoin, and tomorrow it went down to somewhere around 5,000. That's half your invested amount. You are lost at 50%. You just withdraw it to, or convert it to fiat back. You're supposed to still pay the 30% tax on that 5,000. All right.
Oh,
So there is no leeway that, okay, there is something called capital gains tax, and there is something called the profit margin tax that you need to actually go ahead and do it, especially when it comes to stock trading as such. But however, here when it comes to crypto, it's a flat tax that they have levied. That's one part. And the second, they also have TDS implemented in exchanges, wherein any trade that you do will have a 1% TDS deduction at the exchange level itself. All right, so that's another tax, and that's crypto to crypto trading. Now that I'm absolutely fine with that. I'm absolutely fine with that 1% TDS tax. In fact, I welcome that. The main reason here being that particular 1% TDS tax does really add up to that revenue generation to the government as well, and that's kind of legal too for you when you actually go ahead and trade crypto. You don't need to worry about any taxation and stuff. But this 30% that they have levied, that's ridiculous,
it is.
and that too without any thoughts on whether you gain profit or you lose profit. And this is only done to capitalize the market. That's the only thought that I have. They want to get rid of the retail investors, they want to get the institutions a very good position, the banks especially a very good position.
Mhm.
And they also are coming out with their own digital currency over here, so the rupee will get converted to a digital rupee pretty soon. They're working on that. So I believe Polygon is actually working on it. Uh,
Mm.
that's the information I have from whatever sources I could gather. I believe Polygon is actually going ahead and building a blockchain for this particular digital rupee that's going to be built out. But yeah, I mean, it's just that fear that is created in the market, and I guess USPS or someone just did post it on the Fear and Greed Index image on Archangel or Guardian group. I just saw that,
Yeah,
and the message was like, millionaires are made in this particular period. Yeah, absolutely true. Because see, that fear that is created in the market, that is only done to panic investors. Now, imagine this vague scenario where, uh, if in case crypto is going to die, would it not? It's a totally different debate because it has penetrated in such an extent. I'll tell you why a little later. But let us think about it. If crypto just did die and plummet, do you really think that all these projects, all these people who are behind it, and all these guys who have left their actual day jobs and made this a full-time job would still survive? There are a whole bunch of people. Exchanges are there. I mean, why would Binance expand so much, invest so much of money, keep expanding, and then keep building on products when they know for a fact that crypto would die? Because these guys are the ones who have the direct touch with a lot of governments. It's not just one single small region. They are not a small exchange. Even take Coinbase, even take KuCoin. They are not a single small exchange. They do have those inside contacts in the governments as well. So something is brewing in the background. It's just a matter of time that we see that outburst happening. So all I can say is, if you have good established, if you have established good positions, just hold them.
Mhm.
And none of what I speak over here is financial advice. One second.
There you go.
Yeah. you know.
Yep, I agree.
And
Definitely agree with you. And
yeah,
USPS, who says he there's one of his comments right there. But over in chat,
yep,
he's said several times there's no way that these financial institutions and big corporations and all of them who are in it to make money, they're not going to pay retail prices. They're not going to pay the same
yep,
price that we are. So they're going to get it for as big a discount as they possibly can, so that they can get in and make as much money as they possibly can. That's
Oh
yes.
yeah.
They just want to be the market movers. They just want to control the whale share of
Mhm.
the so-called supply that's there in major projects. All right. When Ethereum actually is almost announced that they're going to start the merger this year. In fact, that was happening from quite some time, for the past 2-3 years down the lane. But now that they have confirmed about the merger that is going to happen in this month, September, that is, a lot many venture capitals and investors have actually, by investors I mean those big institutions or even certain banks in certain areas, they have started putting in on ETH and holding it, only because they want that voting rights, only because, since it's a proof of stake, the more you hold, the more control you have over the network, right? So that's the whole concept, and that's where people are actually foraying into it. And to an extent, that is one of the reasons why Bitcoin is actually not moving up much above the 20K mark. It's only for the fact that they are keeping the market a little down, so that the other venture capitals and the other so-called banks or big institutions can hoard those bitcoins. And one more thing that I actually wanted to say is, the IMF, International Monetary Fund, that's out there, they have put out an article which says that there are 72 or so CBDCs that are already existing. Now, by existing, I mean they may exist on paper. Few of them might exist on paper, while only two are actually operational, and one of them is in Nigeria. Now, and the other one is in South Africa, I believe. So these two are already operational CBDCs, in fact. And when that hits my mind, that Africa is actually taking this crypto revolution a little more forefront, I can only imagine that yes, there is a lot of potential there, and there are a lot of people who are unbanked. The most amount of population in the world, I believe, which is unbanked, is in Africa. So if crypto really does penetrate, because all you need is just an internet connection, which can easily be provided. So I don't know, it would definitely be blowing up there, provided the necessary tech and the talent is available in those regions. Caddy has become very silent. I'm sorry, Caddy, I've been speaking a lot.
You're just been letting it go. No, I was just trying to peel through a little bit
Yeah.
of some of the articles out there today. Hold on. I'm sorry, guys, if I have an echo down here. Still working
Nah,
on some
you're
things.
fine, you're
Yeah,
good.
you're fine.
All right, so we have Tom saying, follow the big money, they leave elephant tracks. Absolutely, yes. I mean, probably even more than what an elephant does. I hear Cardano working on hard in places like Africa.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, there are quite a lot of projects which are actually working pretty big in Africa, although some of them might not be on the limelight right now, but there are a lot of projects which are actually there. And uh, as far as I have known, there are a few big projects which are actually establishing their base or trying to establish their base of operations itself in Africa, since it's crypto friendly. And I don't know, they might be getting more tax benefits over there, and uh, probably more adoption at a rate that we have never seen in the back end days, right? Especially when it comes to the fiat value over there in those regions, it's not so good. The economic condition, especially against the dollar, is definitely not so good. But with crypto, since it's a unified amount across the world, and that can be the new source of what you can say, a currency itself inside. Like when you have a CBDC operational in Nigeria, you definitely would be paving way for digital payments to go through. And that itself could be a revolution there.
Mhm.
You never know. I mean, but yeah, fingers crossed. All good and neutral news, all bad and stuff, everything coming out. But Caddy, hold on. I think you're off studio. I'll add you back. Yeah.
I was back there changing the cord real quick.
Ah, okay.
But no,
You're
I
good
think
now?
we're good.
Yeah,
I think. Okay.
perfect. So, what do you think, Caddy? What do you think is happening in the market out there? I mean, why do you feel that Bitcoin is not rising much? And
Well,
what is your thought?
one of the things I noticed is ETH has been outpacing Bitcoin this time around. At typical trends, Bitcoin is, the granddaddy of them all. But with this time, with emergent stuff happening, I think ETH's going to have a little bit stronger of a run. Now, you got to remember, less than 12 months ago, we seen all-time highs, and we seen those prices retrace over 95% in some aspects. And to have that type of a bull run and that type of consolidation or drawback occur right after, that was needed. And right now we're at that kind of rebuilding stage. If you look at the trend over the lifespan of Bitcoin, the lifespan of Ethereum, you're going to see certain trends. And what we've experienced is no different than anything that we've witnessed before. But like you said, now we do have an institutional and hedge money that is playing a big factor into this. So what we're seeing is, to me, in my opinion on this, is we're seeing the same cycles, but with bigger money in play right now. So with mass adoption coming, every time we hit these cycles, they're going to maintain higher lows than what you have previously. Even though ETH retraced back to $800, that's still, think about where it was, 3 years ago. If you look at it
Mhm.
in that aspect, 3-4 years ago, if you look at it in that aspect, we're maintaining higher lows, higher bottoms. It's just, a matter of time. And we seen with, I don't like talking about it, but the pandemic, lockdown, a lot of people investing and working from home, they got bored. They're trying to find different ways which help contribute to that bull run. But if you look at it, it was on trend for past, if you look at the past trends, it was on point. Let's see. I see stuff
There you
getting
go.
dropped in the chat.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. So says here's a good story about crypto in Africa and why it is taking root in that continent.
Yes, and he dropped a link down to the article down below. And lose
Yep.
$14 per ETH, baby. Yeah. Think about that. Like, if you look at $14 compared to 6 or 800 is the lowest that we bottomed out on this last time down.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
it's not going to say that we're not going to retest that again or even go lower. But it's just, if you look at the trends, this is starting to boom. And if I recall, Brian was dropped either Brian or Tom, someone dropped an image over in Guardian or Arca last week.
Mhm.
I can't remember. There's so many to keep up with. But it was
Yeah.
showing about the adoption of technology and how long it took for the acceptance of that. Keep that in mind. Look where we're at right now. And we're not just technology, but also a different asset class that's never been discovered, until this has occurred. Let's see. Africans are also keener on using cryptocurrency because of the ongoing money crisis and recession. Africa has over 40 currencies that each are struggling with instabilities and levels of inflation. I'm going to bite my tongue.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the other thing too, is, if we look around at inflation overall, many countries are experiencing that, especially, the way things have been going lately, let's just say. The US dollar itself is not worth what it used to be by any freaking means.
Yeah.
So just
I mean,
keep that in mind, that, the mass adoption, the way things are going with it, there's no ignoring the technology and the existence of the possibilities that are here. And, it's not just as that financial vehicle, but, getting into the NFT sides. And you can talk about, real estate being a mitigator and things, healthcare records. The possibilities are truly endless. So there, I went on my little ramble.
wait. I mean, this is the article which I was speaking of, and the other one is not in South Africa. I'm sorry, it's in the Bahamas. And guess what? FTX has a very good stand on the Bahamas as well. I heard that FTX is actually supporting a lot of real estate projects out there in the Bahamas, which use crypto for payments. Uh, but yeah, all rumors. let me just share this. You were speaking, Caddy, about the adoption of technology, and but
Yeah.
yeah,
That graphic that was
here you
posted
go. This is
is
the
really good.
image.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what I was digging for too, and I
So,
ended up. I'm glad you guys still have me because I lost my stream window.
Oh, I don't know how to post it. I just dropped it in TG for you guys.
yep.
But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's really eye opening right there. And then we
Very.
are way down at the very right hand corner.
Here. Yep. This
Yep.
is
Yep.
where we are at. I
And
mean,
the thing,
like I said, it's always a matter of time. Imagine video calls were only limited to James Bond movies and what we are doing right now. Imagine all those fancy stuff that was there in James Bond's own car, and now we actually have it in reality.
I
I would,
know
yeah, definitely. I think I
Yeah.
have James Bond's Aston Martin with all the technology. That'd be nice.
the
Did you,
DB9. Yep.
Yep.
on this chart, did you also notice that the farther we go, from, I mean, towards the right, the
Mhm.
adoption of those things takes far less of a curve. I
Time.
mean, it's
Yeah.
much more vertical in terms of showing how much it's adopted. So
Yep.
even what's the I can't really tell the last one, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It's digital camera, tablet, smartphone. It's practically vertical. So as technology advances, as
Yes.
people just get used to having it in their lives, it's just like, sure, well, yes, we accept that. Yes, we accept that. So it's crypto's turn.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll give you a very good example on that, Miss B, on to everyone who is watching. My own father, if you take for example, they are the generation who always used to visit the banks for each and everything that was out there. So any other smaller transaction, I mean, they used to always keep their money in the banks, and anything that they want to go ahead, they used to always do it in cash transactions. They went to the bank physically, withdrew the cash, then came back, then used the cash to buy stuff and things like that.
Mhm.
Now, when the digital payments initially started over here, Google Pay started, Paytm, that's another aggregator that also started. So, digital payments and the UPI, Unified Payment Interface, that was started here in India. Through a QR code, you could just pay it directly from your bank account to another person's bank account. That was kind of, in a very slow adoption rate. But when the pandemic actually hit, you wouldn't believe my own father actually learned it and he started using it now. And even a street vendor who comes in his cart near my house now has a QR code for payment.
Wow.
That is how big the adoption happened within a span of 2 years' time.
Hmm.
The moment that the pandemic hit and the cash transactions, because banks shut down and uh, people wouldn't be able to go out to ATMs and stuff, but you still had the money and you need to spend it somewhere. Digital marketplace actually took a revolutionary turn over here, at least in India, for the fact where even a local vendor who even just sits aside the street and goes ahead and sells his goods is now having a QR code with him. I do not
Mhm.
need to worry about anything. I do not carry my wallet itself to most of the places I go. I
Mm.
just take my phone.
Yep.
I make every payment through my phone right now. Believe it or not.
I believe
If and yeah, I mean, I'm amazed at the rate that it's actually gone into, because people are not. I mean, most of the street vendors over here, at least, they're not educated enough, but they still use the QR code. They know how to use the smartphones. I mean, that kind of a change in terms of adoption has happened because of the situation that was created due
Yep.
to the pandemic. Now, the same thing is definitely going to happen to crypto sometime right now or a little later. It's only the matter of fact, because see, comparing it with the inflation in place that is currently existing as well, that might also, you never know, it might also be a fuel to the fire as well. So this inflation itself might lead to a bigger adoption of crypto in the back end. How, why, I wouldn't get into the technical specifics or the financial aspects as such, but uh, this is a much more easier, and probably digital currencies would mean a lot more transparency, and that's where the governments are also a little afraid, in my opinion. But still, there are ways to surpass it. I mean, see, if the government really wants to not have a public ledger, they can definitely do that. Even though we say blockchain is a public ledger, there are blockchains which can be created, which could only be accessed by a few individuals and can be restricted in terms of viewing the transactions as well. So that's definitely possible. You can go ahead and do that as well. That's available as a technological aspect. But I mean, when you have a blockchain, you need a digital currency to transact. If someone else is actually coming back and telling you that we accept blockchain technology, but we do not agree with Bitcoin or any of the digital currencies that are out there, then shoo them away. There cannot be a blockchain existing and use it for your own stuff without a digital currency or a token in place.
Well, I will say one thing. Some of the stuff I've discovered, for example, like Chase themselves, and there's been some other businesses too, but they do operate their own, like you said, their internal blockchain. And where they operate is they have what they consider a public and private ledger at the same time. The transaction
Mhm.
itself is public, but the details that are within the transaction are held private. So
Yeah.
I know, Miss B, you're going through your blockchain certification.
Well, not that specifically. It's for SEO and marketing, but yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I thought you were doing the one I can't remember for us for blockchain expert or cryptocurrency expert, but they go over a lot of detail about that particular blockchain. Now, hobby go to hell if I can remember what it is, but it's just been a while since I've done some backing up on that. But I thought that was pretty cool. You know, the technology does exist where they can have, you know, be able to follow the trail, but keep the details private. And you know, for certain entities or certain situations that is beneficial, but for for what with digital assets, ETH is definitely great for that. Wait just until dollar collapses and a gallon of milk costs $5,000. No,
Oh,
I will go find a cow.
yeah, that would be much cheaper.
Yes. I am around enough cornfields. I guarantee you I can go find me a cow.
Just like every house will have a parking garage, every house will have a stable. Or what do you call a house for the cows? I don't know what do you actually call it. But
The barn,
let's
stable.
say a farm stable. Okay, anything. All right, there we go. So we'll all have a cow. So I mean, it's good in a way. It's self-sustenance, and on the sidelines, everyone becomes a farmer.
You know what? That's funny. I was talking about this one here, the next one that Joe just dropped. Microsoft has had NFTs for decades. They just call them certificates instead. These things are not new to NFT.
Yeah.
It's not. And we've just started to understand the use cases. Yeah, that's the thing. I was going over this with somebody else. I can't remember if it was earlier today or last week. All my days are running together at this point. But, that was a conversation we had. It's the fact of the NFT concept. It's not new. It's stuff that's actually been utilized for a while. But to blockchain itself, that's where it starts to change it around and becoming a place where public can operate. It's been used in private entities for a long time. And, they've been molding into their own fashion. This is the great thing about open source with Ethereum, with ERC20s. Look at the potential that can be acquired by open source, by, this person made this. What's the next best thing we can build off of that? And that's when things start to explode. This is where my biggest battle has ever came from: iPhone and open source. Mac and Windows. that is seriously where my biggest battle has always came into play, because they're so proprietary about what they do. And with Android platform, the open source concept, look at how fast you can innovate, how fast you can grow and discover.
Yeah.
You want to put something on the fast track, open source, to me, that's been the way. Let's see, that's brilliant, Joe. I've never thought that before. Yeah. Yep, when you see the token approving for your OAuth or for your Microsoft business account, things like that, or AWS, yes, that certificate is absolutely no different. And I believe even
let me go a step further and tell you, Microsoft is actually building their own blockchain.
Yes, that's the thing. These companies are not going to slow down. They're not going to wait.
Yeah. And they're first going to capitalize on the games that they have. That's the first thing that they're going to do, and later on probably use it for other stuff that might happen. And there are speculations, again, there's speculations that your emails would be on the blockchain. That's one of the fact that they are actually going ahead and building the blockchain for, because that way the monitoring becomes easy and the security aspect is very high. That's the main area that they're actually focused on. Your browser and your actual email and stuff, your Outlook to be precise, that particular application which hosts your email. So that those are the things that would definitely move on to the blockchain as portion, which would have much more security and probably even devoid you of certain scams, because you cannot just randomly create a email ID anymore. Not anymore, because it's everything is stored in the blockchain, right? So
Yep. You remember how easy it
you
was?
never
You
know.
could
You
jump
might,
on and create 100 emails if you wanted to.
Yeah.
yeah. So you
Not
can
saying
do
I've ever
that.
done that. I've never had that time available in the world to do something like that,
There
but
you go. USPS. Google has invested 1.4 billion in blockchain companies last year. Yes, absolutely yes. A lot of
yep.
tech guys are behind. I mean, it actually backs your statement earlier that you told, or the earlier news that you actually spoke of, when they said that crypto is having a lot of backing and power so that to be shut down, right? So these are the backing powers, in fact, right? So let's see. I mean, let's see where it heads. It's just a long ride. It's just a place where we need to be staying patient. Buy when you can, sell if you want to, but hold your positions is the only suggestion that I can provide. Again, not financial advice.
Let's see. I just want to see if I can get an ETH chart that just shows the lifespan of it.
Yeah.
And it just validates. Let me see here.
So Joe says that's what they've admitted to. They likely have 3 times that much in seed money that hasn't even sprouted yet. Yep, I agree to that. I mean, there are a lot of projects that they have invested in which are still yet to come out. We should look into getting ISO
2022 certified
2.
or 222. I have heard of that
Yeah,
before. If that recall.
I don't know. I'm a I mean, backward guy with this ISO certification part. But what does it mean? I carry any idea?
Yeah, it does. It follows the standardization approach with financial standard initiative. I'm digging a little bit
Oh,
deeper.
okay.
I knew it had something to do with the financial sector and ISO. That's kind of in the U.S. That's a standard. How do we
Yes.
put this? That's the terminology that's used for standard. The minimum or standard
No,
requirements
I,
out
I
of.
know the ISO standardization, but I'm not so sure on. I mean, what does that ISO 2022 certified? I mean, certificate mean? Now, what standard is that? So it's
Uh,
related to financial stuff. Okay.
yes, financial repository. Let's see. Maybe the
No
9,000.
worries. Don't sweat it. I'll Google it later.
Yeah, I say he's going to put some homework on us tonight.
Yeah.
CMMI will go that way, no doubt in my mind.
All right. So CMMI will go that way. Not a doubt in my mind. Okay. Yep.
Okay. All right, done researching.
We've got more.
Yeah. Let's do the research off the cafe then.
Yeah, I'd say me, I can get wrapped up in that stuff pretty quickly. Let's
Yeah.
see.
Yep.
Yep, Stacks, you are asking a good question there. Let's see.
Oh,
Whoa, look at that.
look at Cypher.
I can audit this. I'm certified in all ISO standards. I mean, is he saying that for a joke, or is it actually real? I don't know. I don't know if it's actually real. It seems like real to me.
Compatibility. Yep.
Seems like he's not joking around.
Yeah, the CMMI is the compatibility maturity model integration. I like Joe's wording a little bit easier.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, it's true. Well, he is certified.
I just don't know. I don't know how that would coincide with, that might be a conversation I have. I have no idea. A lot of this is new to me. I
Yep.
don't know how it, runs parallel with what we have happening.
Yeah, I don't know.
So yes, news to me. We are getting educated by the audience tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. So, I mean, on one note, Caddy, if I think about it, right now, the only way that you need to go ahead and say that the project is legit or probably abiding by the legal stuff is either if you have a LLC registered or you have registrations with SEC as such, right? So those are the two current governing bodies. So if you have a standardization that actually comes in for blockchain companies, in fact, then that would mean a whole new level of uh, you know uh, legitimate operations that would run. So yeah, I mean, ISO certification, if it's actually been announced from the government side and you can actually get one and portray it stating that your company is so-called certified with an ISO standard, then definitely yes, that would mean a lot more. Uh, because ideally, I mean, you have that authenticity in place, one, and you have you would be definitely abiding by all the legal aspects for you to get that certification in the first place. And guess what? We already have a man here who could get that done for Archangel in case it comes in. So Stacy's like, do it, Lucifer. I don't know. I mean, if it's available, I think we should get it done. Yep. Zen is in the house. I don't know. I think
CMMI
he
and
joined in
ISO
now.
are certifications that businesses and organizations earn live audits and annual inspections to show that their processes are mature, regularly inspected, and improved upon. Yeah, I mean that makes sense, but
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like, there is no standard within this realm yet. It's too new, and too many places are discovering. That's the thing. Like, when we mention how early it still really is within this industry, these are just things that verify that. Always around, bro. No life.
Zen is like, no life.
That's the thing. I may not always be on, but if I'm not, I'm always in that chat. I can't get away from you guys. I swear. Miss y'all too dang much.
Yeah.
But let's see. So I guess back on some of the things that's been going on within the ecosystem, with Guardian, we talked about with Ark and the staking pool. With Guardian, we had the VC or had a Twitter space earlier this week with Heroes Token. That was freaking awesome. Ace Overkill over there and the other people that were there. It was just a very fun, eventful space, very relaxed, and informational on both sides of the table. So I just want to, give a shout out to them guys for giving us Guardian the opportunity to come on and have a chit chat. I'm sure that was at your hand, Miss Bread, make that happen. But either way, it was amazing time. Yeah,
that was a lot of fun. Ace Overkill was hosting. I think Astro Verde was the co-host. We had a good number of people in there, and it looked like about 50-50 from Guardian and Arca, and then from Heroes Token. So yeah, they got to know about us. We got to answer some questions, and then the party just continued when they joined RTG. Some of us joined theirs, and I just wanted to tell you guys that Heroes Token banner is on Guardian Platform's token data page.
Yes, I seen that earlier. And and keep in mind on the token data page, that placement, that's awesome exposure right there. Let's see.
That's our top visited page, actually.
Yes. Yep. So to bring up what is Lucifer's talking about here, the stage 5 max goals for every project. Guardian itself hasn't came out and publicly talked much about this. It's something that's been in developing. But if you remember back to the original model, we had a lot of components that were going to be integrated within the platform. Let's see here. CMMI or stage 5 will follow the maturity process just like CMMI. Yeah, that's the thing is this 5 different stages, including stage 5 max. There's different metrics that you will have to hit, and those metrics were still, we're those to see what's going to be best. But to be able to list on Guardian, one of the things about it, one CMC, one CG, enough of that, because that is it's a game to them. And to get exposure on their page, they want unauthentic metrics. They want your social engagement. They want social engagement, transaction volume, all things that can be altered and skewed. They can be inflated. They can it doesn't bring authentic metrics to a project to give the true foundation of it. So I can't wait for all that to shed some light out there. Once it goes, we get that out, goes live. It's going to show, a different approach of looking and understanding a project.
Yep, absolutely. And we have a question here from Crypto Morocco in terms of listing on exchanges like Sitapro or PiSwap and stuff like that, and or building our own swap. I'll just go ahead and give my take on this. First and foremost, exchange listings do not benefit the token much. I mean, you wouldn't agree with me. It's fine, but let me tell you the true fact. Unless and until you have volume of trade happening, there is no real use case for an exchange to actually list your token. That's one place. I mean, gone are the days where if you're listed on an exchange, you go ahead and have a bit more exposure than others. Because now exchanges themselves are facing a lot of scrutiny, and a lot of exchanges are getting shut down mainly for the fact that they're not abiding by the regulations. So listing on an exchange might not help that much. That's one note. And it only aids in terms of the volume of trade. Apart from that, for the price point, it definitely does not help much because your exchange will have a separate liquidity. Your exchange will have a separate trade mechanism. Your exchange will not support, most of the exchanges, the top ones, will not support any such reflections or any other tokenomics of the token itself, right? So with all these backdrops, listing on an exchange, if you right now in the current situation, I would say no, because of two reasons. One, it's always good that you actually first build up the volume and then automatically go ahead and register yourself to an exchange. That's when the actual benefit is what you would get, because of what the day traders and the volume of trade is what ideally builds up, and that is what is needed for you. And two, the current scenario of the market itself, because regulations are kicking in the back end. Day by day we are seeing new and new rules coming out. And if we go ahead and list in any of the exchanges, and tomorrow if that exchange is found to be not abiding by certain rules, and that goes under a scrutiny or probably halts or stops the trade and stuff. Now a lot of people here in India as well are stuck with a few exchanges because they're not able to even withdraw their funds. They're not even able to trade. They're not even able to withdraw. They're not able to convert it to fiat and get it back to the bank account. So their money is literally stuck in the exchanges only because a governance body is auditing them. So these things are happening in the background. So I would say that we'll have to wait till we have clear cut regulations in place, and then go ahead and automatically, there would be some kind of a concept which would come out where there is a standardization in terms of you getting listed in exchanges, and those exchanges which are abiding by these rules and regulations will definitely survive. That is the time when we have to definitely look for certain exchange listings. But for now, I think it's just good for us to go ahead and wait and stay on the decentralized platform of the dexes itself. As far as it goes to building a swap, why do you need one when you have so many aggregators available in place? So I mean, it would be a waste of time and resources, in my opinion, for now, because the things that Guardian and Archangel is focused on are far more things than just a swap. So it's a whole new ecosystem and a platform wherein now NFTs was something which was not part of Archangel. Now Scratch is there as part of Archangel, Archangel's ecosystem, giving you a lot more functionalities towards NFTs and stuff. Now, the same way, there might be some other project which is actually existing, and that could also be part of the ecosystem, which would provide you that decentralized exchange platform. Like Zero Gas is one that is actually upcoming, right? So that's something that we'll have to wait and watch as to what will uh, come out with that. So if Zero Gas comes out and we have that launch happening, that's a Dex right out there. So that's my take on it. So Carrie and Miss B, you could go ahead and put in your comments for the question.
Actually, no, I don't have too many comments there. I noticed that you got Brainstem open up there, though. That's another component that I cannot wait to get to, to see to come out. Still working through some of the development stuff on that side, but let's see. Smart Mr. Aslan, I agree with you 100%. And Ed is working with AI on the contract data needed for that cycle. Oh yeah, we don't have an exact date. We got to wait for Ed for that one.
Oh, for the staking pool 3, yeah.
Yes, I got a feeling. All I can say is soon.
Yep,
soon.
just keep checking the chat. I'm sure it'll be on there.
The most loved word in the crypto industry is soon.
The difference
So
is
I opened up this page mainly for the fact that I wanted to probably speak a little about brainstem and stuff like that. I mean, Caddy, any updates on the developmental aspects, or is it been will it be sometime later that we would see brainstem, and
I
any
would
other
say
new timelines
I would say
updated?
stand by on some updates. We're still working with our developers and the CDN company. It's definitely been a challenge, but we are peeling through it. What you're seeing there is that was a working UX of the platform itself. We got to actually get a chance to touch that first hand. Um, oh, 1 second. Just said today he
Yep.
DM'd said the pool will be open for 5 days once it opens. So we'll be sure to post that info as soon as he passes it on. And that'll be in the Telegram, all the
Okay.
socials, and most likely updated on the website. Don't hold me to that one though. But I know it'll be out on the socials, on the announcement boards. It will be on all the usual channels and here on the cafe too. So
Yep.
let's
That's
get
true.
stage 2 over first.
So I mean, what's this button of stage 5? I don't know. It's not taking me to any link.
No,
So for
not yet. So that is like I
I'm
said,
just digging.
you're seeing definitely some progress going. We are working on getting some of the connections made with the stage 5 project and the component being integrated into the platform. So that is some of the stuff that is in the current testing stages, which oh yeah, the sign-on stuff. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
But no, there's so many pieces that are coming together, and I cannot wait to share more of that with you guys. Pay attention to the platform, some subtle changes, some subtle updates being added, but you're going to start to see some of the major components and a lot of stuff that will give. What's the best way to word this, Miss Brad? The utility that'll be coming to the platform with that stage 5 alone, and what all is tied to that coming out with.
That covers it.
We can just leave it at that. Actually, Ms. Roslin, if you want to open up the white paper and go to page 5 on it under about Guardian Platform white paper, there is some hints in there about that. And if I recall, don't hold me to this. I think that is the component integration map. So on the white paper, yeah.
Oh wait, I'm just sharing a tab. Let me just quickly share that. You want the white paper, right?
Yes.
There we go. Is it visible? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. You may just want to zoom in a little bit there.
Wait. Why did
you got a Windows computer? Oh, there you go. So yeah, scroll down to page 5. 3, 4. Yes. Yep. The component development. So, taking a look at all of these different pieces to this puzzle. Excuse me. All the different pieces, token data, market news, global exchange, the marketers hub, and what am I forgetting? I thought there was one more piece. On the initial launch with Guardian, we had about 5 initial components in their MVP form. What we're getting ready to see is a lot of these different pieces starting to tie together. So, major developing on the back end, making these connections. When that says the integration chart, that's exactly what that is. That is now all these pieces of getting tied together. So, we have Charity, we have Scratch, Herald that's in development right now. Token Strength that's in development right now, along with, the market news, market token data. The stage 5 is going to be so massive for exposure of smaller projects or any project for that matter. That's where I think a lot of value, that along with tying it with Herald, tying it with Whale Watch and Bag Tracks and all of these pieces together. Oh my gosh. Imagine one place to find that. Somebody who was a big supporter of the ecosystem, Blue Collar Crypto, he was doing a video one time and I was watching, how was he navigating through his sources? And in his earlier videos, it would take him, a few minutes to get around to everywhere. And he freaking shaved that off so much just by utilizing Guardian. And that's what it's about. It's about tying all those pieces together and simplifying that research. And it's working out very, very well. We're seeing that firsthand.
Yeah, definitely.
No, this is a whole new beast in itself. Let me just put it that way. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not actually going ahead and you know uh, uh, trying to, what you can say, hype the stuff out there. But this is true utility and this is true forethought, because it's the one stop solution for any of the research that you want to do. You want to
Yeah.
get the legitimate project updates, yeah, here you go, you have Herald. You want to see actual releases of AMAs and stuff, you have Brainstem that's going to come out. You want to check the actual legitimacy of a project, you do have all these tracking mechanisms that are inbuilt. So I mean, you would have to visit multiple websites, you would have to visit multiple locations or places, and probably you would have to spend almost 2 to 3 hours in research. At least I do, in terms of just understanding what the project is, reading the white paper, all that stuff, going through certain details, their socials and things like that. Now, this particular token strength and risk assessment itself, these two components, once they're out, they would definitely shave off a lot more, because they are automating your entire research function. The moment you have these scores tied up with, because it's ideally built, I mean, as far as my understanding goes, it would ideally be built on certain algorithmic uh, calculations in terms of whether their socials are legit or whether they have bots, whether, I mean, stuff like that, in the back end. So with these kind of scores that you can actually see, or probably see a check for a specific token alone, that would definitely mean a lot more in terms of just understanding whether a project is good, legit, and whether it is something that you can actually go ahead and put your money in safe, right? So that's, I don't know, that's something that I'm really excited in the back end. I cannot actually show my excitement much, so I'll just be serious.
No, you're exactly right, Mr. Oslin. The goal of this is to bring as many of those tools and resources into one place, just so people can make a better educated decision about their investment strategies. It's not about swinging one way or another. Some of the biggest things that you'll see shoved in front of people's faces is price analytics. But what you
Yeah.
don't get to see all the time is the fundamentals of a project. What drives it? How is this being done? A chart can get you so far. And yes, if you're somebody who does like watching charts, I get it, and that's your thing. But if you want to learn and do long-term investing and get to know the fundamentals, that's what's missing out there in a centralized place. And I'm not saying price data is a bad thing. No, it's good to know a little bit of that too, but you need to know the bigger picture. You know, they've been feeding, I'm probably going to get my butt reamed for this one, but the way crypto has been feeding is that casino mindset. They're not putting, who's the manufacturer of that slot machine out there. They're saying, here's a slot machine for you and go at it, right? Here's the trends of what it's done in the past. They're not going through and talking about, who's the manufacturer, how much has that machine won. Gosh, I hate relating to that, but a lot of people relate crypto as a casino. And if you look at it at that level, I want to know more about what I'm doing if I plan on putting, my hard-earned money into it. And that's something a lot of people
Yeah.
don't understand is, this is your money at the end of the day. This is your investments. It's not a financial advisor telling you what to do with your money. It's not a 401k guiding you on where to go. This is for you to understand what you're doing. You got to be that own financial advisor to yourself. And to understand that, it takes a lot of mistakes to start to understand what it is that it takes to know what you're doing within the space. I don't even say know what you're doing, but to understand just the basics around and how all of this is pulled together. That's where Guardian is going to stand apart from everything else. So, YouTuber 20 windows open on the browsers during the streams. You have no idea.
You should check my browser. You always have close to 15, 20. I mean, my 50 to 60% of the RAM is only because of Brave or Edge.
Yes, browsers.
These two take up almost 60% of my processing power.
Let's see. Learn how to manage your wealth. You are the best person to do that. And it is. And it's better when
Yeah.
you have that understanding of what's going on. A lot of people, they've relied on others to invest their money in for so long. But with the turn of 2020, 2021, 2022, people are wanting now to self-manage. They're starting to see the benefits of looking into things on their own. And they're also understanding the hurdles too. So, simplify that process, bring it all, make it as understandable, as simplified as we can, and give the broader picture of everything with the great tools and resources that either exist out there. And if they don't exist, that's when you build them. But, don't recreate the wheel
Yep.
when there's already so many great things out there, just not pulled together.
And do you want to know what happens when you actually manage your own funds, Caddy?
Well, you'd slip up sometimes. I've made mistakes, but no, what you got, Mr. Roslin?
Oh, here you go. You can actually eat pizza.
He had to share the food, didn't he? Where's that at? Oh gosh, I see it now. Dinner's
Now we
finally
know
there.
for a proof what he's eating tonight.
That's right. We'll never have to ask him again.
Yeah.
We badgered him enough.
But anyways,
That actually looks really good. It looks like a barbecue chicken pizza.
That looks really good. I'll eat dinner after this.
so when you manage your own funds, you can actually have pizza like a king. As
There
you
you
see in the photograph here. I think
Just
a crown is
remember-
missing. We could just Photoshop it somewhere.
I'll say, just remember, don't go spending, 3 or 4 Bitcoin on one pizza now.
Even if it is-
I was about to come to that.
Yeah. Hey, the way Lucifer was talking, 5,000 for some milk. Yeah, it's gonna cost you. It'll cost you a couple of ETH just to get a gallon of milk anymore. Let's see, meat lovers. Did you buy that with Bitcoin? Yes. Let's find out. But alrighty, guys,
Nice.
enough of my rambling tonight. I get going and I can't shut up, so I do apologize about that one. But
Nah. The cafe is here to rant about, in fact.
no, I think I've actually hit all the updates that I needed to do.
Yep.
Did you have anything, Miss B?
Well, you covered the oh, now you have
Yeah.
covered the last Thursday's Twitter space, and I love that. One of their hashtags is stronger together.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna start using that too.
And it's true. When we got into this, that's something that I think a lot of crypto started to understand is, you can be a single project and be competitive, but you're going to see how far that gets you. But collaboration and there was one image I seen out there before, and I thought at first glance it was a big old whale. But if you look, it's 1,000 little fishes making up the whale. And that is so true within the space. And we're seeing that a lot more. A lot of projects are collaborating. You're not seeing that competitive mindset as much. Don't get me wrong. There's still some out there. But, that's going to be a hindrance on them projects. The ones that are collaborating, you're seeing how much more, how much more you can get that word out.
Yeah, absolutely. It's collaboration, and it's supporting each other, because that's how you grow and thrive.
Yes.
You can't really do it alone as well as you can do it together. So yeah, I know that space was the bomb. That was awesome.
Yeah.
It was so much fun.
Let's see, all industries learning that lesson. Yeah. Only one who hasn't Apple.
Hey, don't
Oh, I'm so mean to them.
See, if you ask me, you're only going to succeed in a competition only when you're big enough. And how is it that you actually grow big enough is only through collaborations. I mean, all those big companies out there are actually big companies right now because they acquired a hell lot of smaller companies which are out, which were existing earlier, right? So
Yes.
that acquisition or partnership is what propelled them to what they are right now, including Google, Apple, or anyone out there, right? So
Yep.
that particular now they can compete against each other because they are big in that level. And who's getting benefited? All these acquired companies, all these partnered companies are definitely getting piece of the pie when it comes to the profits or whatever the growth that has happened. So yeah, I mean, being so early in the crypto industry right now, collaboration is the way that you need to move forward, rather than competition. Now competition can exist in meme coins. That's a space for the meme tokens. Let them enjoy their space.
Yes. I'm a firm believer there's no set anything out there, but I have my own different asset classes when it comes to this space. And I have my own definitions on how those fall in and and categorize. But And it's true. You got your utility, you have your meme and your hype, and then you have the other side of the world. But um, the utility projects, the ones out there trying to put a staple into here, they're here because of the technology and believe in what's going on in the space. They tend to struggle a lot on their own, and you're starting to see a lot of that come together. Let's see, competition generates innovation, discovery. Super important for those phases to be acceptable. You skip those and you pay dearly
Yep.
down the road. And I think crypto may have realized that. They tried to take a few steps ahead, and if you notice, things are kind of taking a step down, and they're truly discovering in what's going on here. What technology can be built. What is the potential?
There we go.
I don't know if Stacy was actually referring to another project or was he just making fun. I'm not so sure.
No. Heroes is the one that we had the Twitter space with, and they do have this free. It's like
Excuse me.
you can probably explain it better than I can, Miss Brad.
Yep. So it's just something that they have in their TG. It's a way to keep their community engaged, and little rewards for being active and engaged. So I call them air,
Mm-hmm.
but they call it rains. It's the same thing, and
Mm-hmm.
there's just little tiny airdrips of crypto tokens, random crypto tokens. Could be ETH or AVAX or whatever. And then if you
Mm-hmm.
in the chat, you get a little bit, and then you download an app for it. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's a great way to keep their community active and engaged. I think it's fun.
Nice.
Yeah,
Who doesn't like free money?
right. Free crypto.
Exactly.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're right, Stan.
Yeah. Especially when you know for a fact, I'm not digging at them, but when you actually see that you're getting an airdrop of 1 million tokens and that million tokens will be worth $100 million, because the market will go 100x, and that's an inu token. That's an inu. Whenever you have an inu that is having added as a suffix to any token, know for a fact it is a 100x token.
Yeah. See,
Sure.
and with their drip thing, I love the concept behind it, and not just because of the free
Mhm.
tokens, but I want to take this to another level. It's about the interaction engagement. Most people,
Yeah.
we're partial to certain blockchains. Me, I like Ethereum. I know people who like Binance, and this gives that opportunity for you want to explore into Avalanche, into Solana, into Binance or Ethereum, whatever ones that you may not generally do. So awesome concept that they have happening over there, and it's going to get people to want to engage with the different blockchains, start learning the different technologies that exist on them. I think that's a really awesome engagement aspect that they've done.
I do too. I wonder if anybody's
Yeah.
going to come into Guardian on Tuesday and be like, "So airdrips, anyone?"
Yeah. Like, we got to figure that one out.
Okay.
Now, because the one thing I want to ask, there is something I do want to ask our team over there is I never did understand how they're being funded for those drips. Is it by somebody donating that, or are they getting it from an outside source from a different revenue stream?
I personally don't know the answer to that. I was going to reach out to them tomorrow. Oh, wait, no, it's holiday. Well, crypto doesn't sleep. So I was going to reach out to them eventually soon and just kind of find out the back end of it, because I'm a little intrigued as to how it works. And, I see some of the same names doing it in their chat.
Oh, Lucifer says it's
Donation.
yeah, they're little airdrips,
Yeah.
000 something, but it gets everybody excited over there.
So HM86, to answer your question, yes, we will definitely be able to reach the ATH. Now, when is a question of many factors, so I would not answer that.
That's awesome. Let's see, HM. Yeah, I think that we'll definitely can reach it again. It's just a matter of time.
Mm-hmm.
Time will tell. We started this off earlier when we were talking about the main. My phone's going nuts. I'm not talking to
Okay.
you, Alexa, or Bixby, or whatever one it is. But no, I do think that's definitely possible. It's just a matter of time, And what was that saying? How does it go? The impatient always pays the patient. I can't remember. Like, I'm trying to pull it off the top of my head.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, reaching the ATH is not so difficult for us once the actual bull market comes and we have the fresh set of investors that are uh, getting in. And see, more than actually reaching the ATH, the main focus that we have to do right now in the current scenario is to, one, know what changes are happening in the market, especially on the regulatory aspects, and two, just build your components and keep your product ready. The moment you have your product ready, it's easy to market. That is when you when actually the bull market sets in, or when we have the clear cut clarity of regulations, you wouldn't be having retail investors. You would have venture capitals, you would have banks, you would have financial institutions coming in and checking out your project. And that's where the big money comes in. And reaching an ATH, that point of time, your ATH can actually be a small peak in your chart. You would
Mm-hmm.
definitely have a big new ATH coming up when you have that much amount of money flowing in. So see, I'm not trying to hype and stuff. It's all about how a market actually works. My day job is into market research. That's where I'm backing my statements. So it's all to do with, having a product ready and reaching out to the right kind of people who can actually get their money into your project or your company, right? So now is the time we go ahead and build. Now is the time we do not focus much on the price. I'm not saying that we should not, but just saying that that should be kind of a set aside factor that should run parallel to what you are building, rather than being in the list of the mainstreams. Because once you start building and once you have the people knowing or understanding, creating awareness is what is needed right now. Now, when
Yes.
you when do you create awareness? When you have all your products up and running and ready, when you have something to offer which is something new in the industry, and something which is uh, a kind of a revolutionary product, and something which people can actually go ahead and refer to. Now, Guardian is one part, but it's just having so many other limbs and arms that needs to be added up to it to become a whole body, right? Once that it is completed, is when you go ahead and present your child over to the world, and that's when you actually see that FOMO kicking in. So ATH is definitely going to be reached HM86, that I can guarantee. But when, I do not know. Not financial advice though. Always have to be careful with that.
Yeah. Oh, let's see.
CC
Well,
Tips is like a wallet. Yeah, I mean, I know that I have seen that in a couple of groups as well. That's a kind of a bot which you can link to a specific wallet, where that can give you tokens to specific members.
Yeah, you can
I'm
like
not so sure if it actually will send it directly to your wallet address, or you will have to go ahead and claim it somehow. I'm not so sure on that.
you can link it to Telegram. And then if you want to
Yep.
send it to, like your wallet or anyone's wallet, really, you can do that too. Yeah. Yeah. It's quite a neat little tool they have.
Hmm.
We're using.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think. I think we covered everything. I was just gonna say Harold's moving along, and the Harold team got
Hmm.
to do a little of
I did play around a lot.
Caddy and I spent many, many hours positive and negative testing certain things for Guardian, but the
Yeah.
Harold was got the chance, or I think half of you have done it already. Got to jump in, try the forum, and we got some great feedback. So
mhm.
Caddy and I will look at that stuff this week. And Mr. Oslin, you had some very good points. So thank
Yes.
Yep.
thank
Thanks
you
Yes.
for that.
for messing around.
We yes. I say I know I didn't get a chance to comment, but I did say I've been kind of eavesdropping. I've been looking around.
Yeah.
And we do have some refinements that still need to be made. That's the thing. That's why we're still in the testing and integration phases. But you're also still, with what you guys have experienced, there's still going to be even some more enhancement and enrichment coming to that too.
Yes.
So that's the one thing, with Guardian, with Arca, really anything that we release isn't in an MVP form. It's not the final product. It's not the end game. So we're always looking, even as we're building, we're still looking at ways that we can improve and enhance and figure out how we can incorporate and integrate those in the earliest days. So we uncovered a couple more things that want to get added into that. And so stay tuned for that one.
Yeah. Stay tuned for that. Stay tuned
Yeah.
for Harold. things are moving right along at Guardian.
Yes, they don't slow down ever.
Yeah.
When you don't see a lot on the
going
surface,
to be a
that's when
good
you
year.
always be worried.
Good year. What'd you say when you don't see a
It's
lot?
going to be a good year.
Yes. We don't
I
see
don't know. I'm just waiting for Christmas to set by because we might have a lot of bomb drops at that point of time. I think most of the stuff would be ready by then. So
by when? By Christmas?
this,
Would you-
by Christmas.
Oh, you'll have some stuff.
Would it? I don't know.
Before that.
Yeah.
We'll just say before that.
Yes. With the
Okay.
team and some of the progress that we've seen just being made within the last, couple weeks, I'm excited to see some of the stuff come to life. Just watching it go from nothing to something, it's been impressive. But there's a lot of, like I said, there's some smaller pieces that's been integrated, and there's some bigger pieces, and these are some of the bigger pieces that are all getting tied together now. So,
Yes, sir.
that we also have, still phase 2 development for the platform. Once the MVP stuff is in place, then we'll be looking at the My Guardian SSO and, moving forward with that. Mucho sooner.
Oh, I got it down. Sorry.
Sounds good to me.
There we
Yes.
go.
Me too.
All right. Christmas is early this year.
Yes. That's the one thing. Like, I can promise you one, Miss Bread, myself, Joe, the enterprise team, the community, we don't slow down. Like that's one thing. The progress, it has not stopped at all. If there's something that's hung up, we move on to the next and we keep things rolling and keep building. And oh my gosh, things are starting. Like I said, once you get to see all this stuff tied together, it's just going to be freaking awesome.
It's pretty cool.
Yes. And then maybe I get some sleep.
And that will be in a couple months.
No. Sooner. Much sooner. Joe says it very wisely. Mucho sooner. Oh my gosh, I must be tired. Okay.
That's what that is.
Nice.
Yes. All righty, guys. I think I have everything that I need to get out this evening. We're about an hour and a quarter in.
Yeah, I think we covered it.
Yep.
I think I will let you all at it.
At what?
Yep.
I don't know. I'm going to take a nap.
Bedtime. No, I think.
Karen, didn't you say that you are supposed to go ahead and fix some of the form stuff on the Guardian platform? I mean, the forms that we actually filled for the Herald part. You're supposed to do that today, right?
I'm not supposed to do anything.
You're supposed to do it tonight. You're supposed to get it ready by tomorrow. So no sleep for you today.
I know. No, that's one thing. Like,
I'm just joking around.
I have a new respect for certain industries and certain fields out there. Let's put it that way.
It's a federal holiday tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting about that.
Yeah.
Don't go in the office. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Lock your office while on the way back.
There's no way to lock my office. It's got a freaking 5-foot wide door.
Build a brick wall. You can break it day after tomorrow.
Yes, I'll tell you what. I tried my best to not come down the stairs on the weekend, but that don't work. That don't work.
So no giveaway this week. We are. I think I mentioned last week we're going to take a couple weeks off from that so we can kind of take a look at the contest, revamp it, because Ito has been doing this since February 6th. But I think it's time that we maybe change it up a little bit and use it for what its original purpose was, which was exposure for the ecosystem, exposure for Arca, exposure for Archa Cafe. So get some, get some new eyes, make some new friends in here. So we'll be back with that. It won't be too long. So we'll come back with it. Don't worry.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, probably we are looking into much more better way of giving out these rewards rather than just having a hashtag done. That's kind of been very repetitive. So we wanted to make it a little more fun, trying and testing out new ideas or new competitions probably to go ahead and conduct, and that would eventually lead to giveaways. So yep, watch out for the space. That's all we can say.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Well, I
All
think
right.
we covered everything, guys. You want to let them go?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Have a
Yeah.
good weekend. We'll see you over in the chats, and I look forward to seeing you guys again.
Thanks for spending your
See you
time.
all. Bye bye.
Bye.